Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about a floor jack. The floor jacks, you see a lot of these nowadays, and there's a lot of different ones out there, and it's kind of confusing unless you really know what you want. But if you're just working on cars and anything that's like 5,000 pounds or less, you can get away with a pretty decent floor jack for not a lot of money. I want to say this was like maybe $200 this jack, and it's the reason why it was 200 is because some of this is made out of aluminum and some of it is made out of cast iron. So the real thing you're paying for mostly nowadays is a couple things, right? You're paying for the quality of the piston mechanism that's in there, in the hydraulic piston mechanism that's actually in the jack, and then you're paying for the weight of it being light, right? So if you're paying for the aluminum, it's going to cost more because it's lighter. So those are two things that I typically look for when I go after a new floor jack. This one I got from Costco's. Believe it or not, Costco's had these, and these are a decent brand, and they're extremely light because they're made out of mostly aluminum, and it's cast iron hydraulics in the hydraulic piston area. So I would say when it comes to floor jacks, go after one that's lighter and go after the one that even is at Harbor Freight. The ones at Harbor Freight, the 3-ton, this is a 3-ton, so the 3-ton floor jack, and the ones at Harbor Freight that cost a little bit more, they're going to be aluminum just like this, but perhaps some of the steel isn't as high quality. But honestly, what happens is over the years is that the seals on the rods and the pistons on these, they leak, and they all kind of do it. I've had ones that were super high end and ones that were super low end, right? And really what happens is they all work just fine for several years, and then eventually the fluid, the hydraulic fluid that's in here, the oil is going to leak out of something, right? And that something is usually the rod mechanism or the rod seal in the pump itself or other areas. So I think in my mind, when you go to buy one of these, what I would recommend is go for one that's lightweight, that's going to fit the weight of what you want to lift. Usually 3-ton is a pretty standard one for cars in the automotive world. I also use this on small backhoe loaders and tractors and stuff like that. And that's what you want to look for. You want to look for one that can do the weight, lift the weight that you need, and is kind of lightweight, right? But I wouldn't go too crazy on a floor jack just because they all will leak eventually and will all need some kind of repair. Instead of repairing it, most people just throw them away or give them away to a friend because once they start leaking, they won't go up all the way. The fluid leaks out. You can replace it, but then it leaks out again. It's just like a never-ending cycle of problems. So you want to fix that. Usually people just throw it away and get a new one. What I will say is that I take this with me, and the reason why I like the lighter weight aluminum one is because I take it with me in my pickup truck. So if I'm delivering or picking up a backhoe, right, on a heavy equipment trailer, right, and the trailer has a flat tire, I don't want to have to do anything with the trailer other than jack it up. So I want a floor jack to do that. And especially if I'm out on the highway or out on the road somewhere, I want to be able to easily jack up that trailer, change the tire, and be back on the road because there's safety concerns and whatnot, right? So I'll take my floor jack right with me, and I'll take the handle off it. I'll take the floor jack, put it in the back of the truck, and it's lightweight. It's aluminum, so I can do all that, and it's not gonna be a problem. If this was not aluminum, it would be about, I don't know, 20, 30 pounds heavier. It's very hard to move around. It's not as portable, if you will, right? So that's why I like the lighter one. It's easier to move around, to transport if you're going to put it in your truck bed, to use it on trailers or your truck when you're on the road. So lightweight is what you want, and then you want to get one that's just rated for what you're lifting. And again, my advice: don't go too crazy on it because they're all going to leak eventually. So you're probably going to have to replace it in 5 or 10 years.